If we have a freezer that's not cooling, but our display shows that the compressor is running indicated by the light here, we could have a problem with our digital controller. So, let's go and inspect first. Let's see if the compressor is actually running. By touching it, we can feel that there's no vibration, so it is not running. To begin this process, we'll disconnect the freezer from power, so that way it's safe. In this next portion, I'll show you how to test the thermostat to make sure that our compressor isn't bad. Using a Phillips head, we're going to take the thermostat cover free. Remove the 2 screws located at the bottom of the cover. With the screws removed, pull out on the bottom of the cover and down to free it up. Now we're going to remove the wire protector. To do this, just grab it and slide it backward. With that done, you can see we have all of our exposed wiring for our thermostat. In order to test our thermostat, we're going to do what's called jumping it. To do this, we're going to come in here and remove the red and black jumper wire from the back of the thermostat. These are terminals 4 and 5 on your thermostat. In order to take them loose, we have to turn the 2 screws that retain our wires located here. Using our small screwdriver, we just loosen them. Be sure not to take the screws all the way out, however, as they're very difficult to put back in. Now that these 2 wires are loosened, we can pull them out of our thermostat. Now, using a wire nut, some tape, or an alligator clip, we're going to bind them together. In this video, I'm using a wire nut. Place the wires together and then secure it so that way no one can obtain a shock. Shown here is the compressor starting as soon as the freezer is connected to power. If you don't hear the compressor start, place your hand on it and you'll be able to feel it vibrating. Now we can take a look at what comes in an XR20 replacement kit that you'll receive from our equipment services department. The first thing you'll see when you open it is a list of detailed instructions. Keep these as a reference. Also inside is a new probe, which you may or may not need to use. The new thermostat itself. And it will also come with this clear adapter gasket, which we'll get into later. A waterproof sleeve. 3 zip ties, 2 retaining clips, and 4 small spade connectors. The next thing we'll need to do is remove the zip tie from the thermostat. Simply cut it with a pair of wire cutters like I used here, and remove it from the thermostat itself. You can also use a razor knife, a pair of scissors, or any tool really. Next, we're going to remove the rest of the wires using our same small screwdriver as before. The terminals we'll be removing at this step are terminals 7, 8, 11, and 12. We can also remove our wire nut from before since we're done with it. Once all the screws are loose, some of the wires may be hard to pull, so use a pair of needle nose pliers to pinch the base of the wires, and then you can gently pry down and release the wire from the thermostat. Now that the thermostat is removed from the freezer, it's time to take it out of the cover. Yours may have the screws in the front that hold on this small protective glass. If it doesn't, you may skip this step. But to remove it, you simply take out the 2 screws located inside of it, and then take the screws and the glass completely off of the cover. Next, we're going to remove the retaining clips. To do this, we depress down on the half moon shaped portion of the clip located toward the front and pull back. Upon further inspection of our old thermostat, if you look, you can see there's actually a hole melted in the bottom. You may also see this rippling without a hole. This also shows that you have a bad thermostat. Next, we're going to install our new thermostat into our thermostat cover. To begin, we remove this small green block here. This is called the probe block. We'll get to it later. Next, we're going to take our clear gasket that came with our kit. If you look at it, you'll notice that there's a wide side and a narrow side. This narrow side goes toward the top. So first, we're going to place our new thermostat into this gasket. Top of the thermostat is located toward the thinner side of the gasket. Next, we take this and we insert it into our cover. Using our new retaining clips, we slide them onto the back of the thermostat. Press them forward until you hear a click. Once that's done, your thermostat will be tightly located into it. And now we can put our probe block back in. This can be set aside for later until we're done wiring. If we look at our wires, first we're going to locate the red wire. It has a small soldered end, so we won't need to cut and strip it like we will the others to install the spades, as it'll fit right on. Using our wire cutter, we're going to cut the ends off of the remaining wires. We'll place the red one out of the way and focus only on the white and black wires. Cut on the base of the wire just to where the steel end is, leaving only clean wires in your cut. Do this to each set of wires. While cutting these, you'll notice you have this small little wire here. This is called a jumper wire. Save it, as we're going to need it later. Next, we're going to take our strippers and we're going to just strip a little bit off the end of each wire. We're also going to strip each end of our small jumper wire. Now it's time to start putting our spade terminals on our wires. To do this, you're going to need a pair of crimping pliers. We're going to take this first terminal that goes on by itself and place it on the red wire. Next, we're going to locate our thin black wire and also our jumper, and we're going to place those together as well. Twist them to keep them tight, and then just crimp another spade on. Once that's done, we're going to locate our fan wire. This is the double wire that has a split at the end. Upon examining this, if you look at the wires and feel them, you'll notice that there's one side that's smooth and one that's rough. If we find our rough side, this is the side that's the positive wire. The smooth is the neutral. So now we're going to attach this to our jumper. We're going to use our rough fan wire and our jumper, and we're going to attach them together. And now we're going to take our smooth fan wire and attach it to our white wire. With wiring done, we're now ready to connect our thermostat. On the back, you'll notice we have numbered terminals. The first terminal is going to be terminal 8, which is where our white and fan wire connect. Terminal 7 is our small black wire and our jumper. Terminal 5 is the red wire only. And finally, terminal 4, which is where the fan and jumper wire connect. Then, on our probe block, we're going to be using terminals 11 and 12, which are the two on the far left. It doesn't matter if you put the blue or brown wire in either terminal, as long as they're in the right ones. Taking our group of wires and our thermostat, we're going to start connecting them. Again, white and fan go to terminal 8, the thin black wire and our jumper wire go to terminal 7, our red wire only will go in terminal 5, then the other end of our jumper and our other fan wire will go in terminal 4. In order to attach our temperature probe, we're going to need our small screwdriver again. Again, it doesn't matter which color wire goes in which place, as long as it's in terminals 11 and 12, which are the two on the farthest left of the probe block. And with that, our new thermostat is installed. We didn't have to change our probe on this unit, so we can just set that aside since we didn't need it. Now we're going to secure all of our wires to the thermostat itself. We're going to take one of our long zip ties from our kit, and we're going to use that to secure the wires. Go over all of the wires except for the fan wire. Use the zip tie to pull the wires underneath of the thermostat. Once you have the zip tie started, place it about midway on the white retaining clips and pull it firmly. Trim off the excess length of the zip tie so that way it doesn't get caught in the fan motor. Now we're going to reinstall the wire cover on our thermostat. It fits a little more snugly than the old model because we have the probe block, but it does still fit. Just line it up and press it firmly onto the back of the thermostat. We can now reinstall our cover. To do this, place it into the hole, slide up and in. Replace the 2 screws at the bottom. And this install is complete. If your unit did not have the wire cover like we've installed on this one, we're going to have to install a waterproof sleeve. Simply take it and slide it over all of the wires. Once this is done, we hook all the terminals up the same way we did before. The white and fan wire go into terminal 8. Our thin black and jumper go to terminal 7. The red wire by itself to terminal 5. And the other end of our jumper and our other fan wire go to terminal 4. With our probe wires going into 11 and 12 using the small screwdriver. With that done, we're going to take our sleeve, and if you'll notice there's a curve in it. This faces toward the bottom of the thermostat. Feed it up onto the corners of the thermostat, pulling it from either side until it slides up all the way flush with the thermostat cover. Next, we're going to need the 3 zip ties that come with our kit. If you'll notice, there's 2 long zip ties and 1 short zip tie. Right now, we're going to start with one of the longer ones. We take our zip tie and we place it around the entire base of the thermostat. If you feel under the sleeve, you can feel the retaining clips. Put the zip tie about midway on them and pull it tightly. Then trim off the excess to prevent it from getting caught in our fan motor. Next, using our short zip tie, we're going to pinch the bottom of the waterproof sleeve flat and fold the corners of it down, making a fold in the bottom. Take our short zip tie, wrap it around this fold, and then pull it very tight. And again, we'll trim off the excess. Finally, we take our last long zip tie. What we're going to do with this is insert it through the grill of our thermostat cover, just below the thermostat itself. You'll notice this little mark here. Make sure you don't put it through that slot, or the zip tie will be noticeable. We insert it from the inside through the slot in the thermostat cover. Coming back to the front, we put it through the same slot and back to the inside, leaving us something like this. Next, fold down the waterproof sleeve and place this zip tie around the bend. This one don't pull securely, just enough to make it bend at about 90 degrees. And again, we'll trim off the excess. Next, we're going to take our thermostat cover, place it in the hole, press up and in to secure it. Then we replace our 2 Phillips head screws at the bottom of the cover. We can now return our freezer to service. After 2 minutes, the compressor should start. Thank you very much for watching.